Are you currently trying to figure out how much to spend on your digital marketing, aka your Facebook ads or your Google ads? Or even worse, you've hired an agency and you're spending thousands of dollars on digital marketing, yet you don't understand why you're spending thousands of dollars. Not knowing the strategy or having a framework is just as good as pretty much taking your money and lighting it on fire. Emmanuel here, and in today's video, I want to break down exactly how much you should be spending on your ads to generate you some new leads. All right, I am kicking this video off with a little bit of a heart-to-heart with you. Please stop spending money on Facebook or Google ads if you don't know what you're doing. Please. You see, putting up an ad to promote a brand new listing is a great idea if it's part of your marketing strategy that you agreed on with your client that you have the listing for. But if you're posting ads for the sake of trying to get prospects through this, please stop. Please stop. If you're posting ads that say, hey, what's the future value of your home worth? I know the answer. Well, they're probably not working or resonating with your audience simply because, well, let's face it, every agent can provide that information. Hey, heck, a Google search can provide that information. So you don't really have a unique selling proposition, and that ad probably is not going to work. So please stop. And if you're posting up an ad just for the sake of showing your beautiful face as you being the realtor, well, let's be honest here. The only person this is benefiting is you and your ego. Unless, of course, this is part of a larger branding campaign. Then if that's the case, go right ahead. But if it's not, and you're just doing this to try to generate some new leads, you're probably not going to get any new leads in your pipeline. So please stop. Look, I can go on and on because I see way too many of these types of agents on my Facebook feed with abysmal engagement on their posts, and I guarantee their ads are not working for them. So if you're throwing away money to Facebook for these types of ads or a derivative of these types of ads, I highly recommend that you stop what you're doing, please, and go educate yourself, because these strategies are just not gonna work for you. And this is strictly coming from a place of love and care, because I have seen way too many realtors start spending money on ads that have gotten no result and get really burned really fast. You see, when I actually have conversations with a lot of these realtors that get burned, well, let's say the reason why they're getting burned, I mean, long story short, is because they just did not know what they're doing. By the way, I highly recommend that you take a look at my video about real estate sales funnels. I'm going to leave the thumbnail to that video like right here. I think it's going to be right. It's going to be over here somewhere. Anyway, that'll give you a little bit more strategy and insight in terms of how you need to be positioning your message. But for the purpose of today's video, I want to break down budgets. Specifically, how much money you should be spending on your ads on these social media platforms. But before I get into it, you know the deal. Smash that like button, please. Click that subscribe button and the bell icon, because you know it appeases the YouTube gods. And because if you bless them with appeasing them by clicking those buttons, they end up blessing us with the ability to create more content just like this. So thank you so much in advance. So the basis of today's conversation revolves around 3 words. And those 3 words are cost per acquisition. You see, cost per acquisition refers to the amount of money it takes to essentially acquire a client. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. Isn't there a column for CPA or cost per acquisition on Google or Facebook in their ads? It usually gives me a number, right? Well, there is, but you have to understand that that number is not very accurate. It's actually pretty broad in terms of what your actual CPA is. You see, the good agencies, the ones that run solid campaigns for clients, you know, the ones that actually generate leads, they don't actually just look at the CPA of a campaign on Facebook or Google. What they actually do is they look a lot deeper. And the good news for you, this video is going to explain what exactly they're looking at. By the way, quick side note, if you're planning to hire an agency, a real agency to manage your ads, then I want to set the expectation for you now. The pay-to-play entry fee for these types of agencies are a minimum of $10K a month. So really, my goal for today's video is to better equip you with the knowledge so that you can eventually get up to that 10K ad spend and hire a real agency to manage your ads. But I digress. There are a few metrics that you need to be aware of in order to compute your true CPA or cost per acquisition. So let me hop into my iPad now and I'm gonna kind of walk you through how this works, right? Let's go. Okay, so the first metric that you need to be aware of, that you need to be calculating for, is the cost to generate a lead and essentially get them from the top of your sales funnel into the middle of your sales funnel. This essentially is the cost that you need to put out there into the universe or the social media universe to promote that you have the solution to the problem that your prospect is having. Now, the way you compute this is actually pretty simple. It's just taking the amount of money that you're spending on ads and dividing it by the amount of leads that you were able to generate through your ads. So it's essentially this equation here, minus that typo I kind of messed up on. This actually should be a dollar amount, not a number amount, not a dollar amount. Now, you're going to need to use this in the context of a date range. So it can be measured by either what you're spending in a day or maybe a week or let's say a month. So let's say, for example, I spent $32.04 yesterday on my Facebook ads, all right? And from that, I was actually able to generate 2 leads. Now, simple math indicates $32.04 divided by 2 computes out to my cost per lead being $16.02. All right, so now the next step is you need to actually factor in your cost per appointment, aka the amount of money it costs to get them from the middle of your funnel over down to the bottom of your funnel. Now, first of all, you're going to want to pull an average spend of maybe 30 days to figure out these numbers. So you're going to have to let your ads run for a little while. Now, let's say that I've pooled my 30 days and I kind of figured out my averages, and the number that comes up when we're talking about cost per lead is $56.62. And of that, I was actually able to generate 5 appointments. All right. Now, from this, you're going to need to figure out your application rate, which is this number here. All right, so to figure out your application rate, the math's pretty simple. It's essentially taking the total amount of leads that you generated, and then you divide it by your appointments. So in this case, it took me 13 leads to generate 5 appointments, and that gave me a percentage of 38%. So $56.62 divided by 38% gives me the total dollar amount per appointment at $149. Now, once you've completed that step, then you need to figure out exactly what your cost per acquisition is, and that is simply just a little bit more division. All you simply need to do is take your cost per appointment and then divide that by your close percentage or percentage of people that you're able to convert into clients from those appointments. So in my case, cost per appointment was $149. And of the 5 people, I was able to convert 20% of them, which is essentially one person of the 5 people, but at least I got 1 client. So the simple math from that is my cost per acquisition, my true cost per acquisition is roughly around $745. Now, once you have this magic number right here, this super highlighted number, this is the super important number right here. It's just simply another simple math equation to get you to figure out what you should be spending on your ads per month. So let's say that my cost per acquisition is $745 and I want to try to be able to acquire at least 10 new clients a month. Well, simple math would indicate 745 times 10 equals $7,450. Nice, simple, easy, and round numbers to understand. But essentially, if you're trying to generate 10 new clients a month, it's going to cost you close to $7,500. Easy peasy, right? All right. Well, I'm pretty sure if you're not very good at math and you kind of got confused, you're probably gonna have to rewatch the middle part of this video again to figure out those computations that I created. But once you get this down, it all pretty much makes sense after that. Now, just as a heads up, if you're just starting off, you're going to have to cast a pretty big net or start with a pretty decent amount of money in terms of a budget to try to figure out these numbers. I know that $7 grand is pretty high for some of you, so maybe try starting with at least $1,500 a month and kind of see where the data starts computing and coming in so you can start making some real actual decisions. I should also add that the ad budget is actually just a cog in the machine, in the overall machine that you're building. There are a few more things that you need to consider in order to get this right the first time, or for maybe some of you the second, third, or maybe fourth time of you guys trying this out. By the way, if you're feeling stuck on this or you need some additional help, then I highly recommend you join our free Square One Facebook group. I'm gonna leave the link in the description below, and I'm happy to talk shop a little bit more about this over there. But if you are looking for some real help, some actual coaching and consulting to help provide you with a more structured framework and some guidelines that you can follow so that you can really start making your ads work for you and not spend a bunch of money on maybe an agency that thinks they know what they're doing and is probably leaving you completely in the dark, then I highly recommend that you schedule a strategy session. I'm leaving that description in the link below as well. And we're gonna spend 45 minutes to really talk shop and dissect what you got going on in your business. In any case, I hope you found a ton of value in this video. And if you didn't, I'm sorry to tell you, there's more of this kind of stuff to come. But aside from that, I just wanted to wish you a wonderful and amazing rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.